Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to click that subscribe button. Also turn on post notifications. I would like to give a special thanks to South Day Toyota for giving me time with the 2023 Toyota Camry XSE. And as you guys can see here, my model is painted in this beautiful shade of Sonic Red. It looks good with the nice two-tone roof there. But let's talk about pricing here for the Toyota Camry XSE. The starting price is $34,115. This one stickers for $40,814. If you guys are on the market for a Toyota, be sure to check out South Day Toyota and ask for Tony. He will get you into a new or pre-owned vehicle. But let's talk about the front styling here for the Camry. Looking at the exterior styling here for the 2023 Toyota Camry XSE, as you guys can see, this is the more sportier Camry that you guys can go for because it is the XSE model, and Toyota really showed it off that they can make an aggressive looking sedan here. As you guys can see, there's the Toyota logo front and center, which houses the driver's assistance tech. It also has a camera in the front windshield for the adaptive cruise control technology and whatnot. Looking at these headlights here, they're going to be a full LED, which is a turn signal, daytime run light, also with the automatic low and high beam function. And sadly, there is no fog lights here on this generation of Camry. You guys can do aftermarket or a dealer installed option. I like the nice honeycomb finish to the grille here. There's some aluminum painted trim at the lower part of the fascia. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about the 2023 Toyota Camry. Toyota didn't redesign this vehicle for 23. Maybe for 2024, we might see an all new generation of Camry. This is a top seller in the segment. Toyota sells over 200,000 units every single year, which is just super impressive because Americans, we love SUVs and pickup trucks. But looking at the side profile here, this has a wheelbase of 111.2 inches with an overall length of 192.7. So it is right on par with every mid-size sedan in this segment. Looking at the tires and wheels here, these are a 235/40 Bridgestone tire. They're wrapped in this 19-inch rim design. I do like the nice gloss black finish here. I wish Toyota would have painted the brake calipers red. Maybe you guys can probably do that aftermarket. There's this LED side marker here on the mirror cap with this gloss black painted mirror cap here. As you guys can see, there's this floating like roof design here because this one does have the two-tone. There's also this large panoramic sunroof. Some other competitors in this segment, believe it or not, do not offer a panoramic sunroof. But making our way to the rear of the Camry here, looking at the taillights here, they're going to be a full LED, which is a turn signal, brake light, and reverse light. If you guys go for a lower trim level, unfortunately Toyota will just basically offer an LED combination. And this area right here is not functional, but it is there for nice design cues. And this one also has quad tip exhaust, but as you guys know, it is only a dual setup, but Toyota just throws on the extra 2 exhaust to make it look like a quad setup here. The rear diffuser does look aggressive compared to a standard Camry. There's also the Toyota logo with the Camry name spelled out. It is finished in this nice chrome trim. I wish Toyota would have blacked it out, maybe for a black package, but there is the XSE badge there with this integrated rear spoiler, which is black painted. And open up the cargo back here. Toyota hides the trunk release off to the trunk release off to the side. There's the backup camera there, also with LED lights for the tag. As you guys see, the cargo area does not disappoint. Toyota says this has 15.1 cubic feet of space, so plenty of space to put your family's stuff back here. Lifting up the load floor here, it does reveal a temporary spare tire instead of a fix-a-flat kit. Sitting in the interior of the Toyota Camry XSE, as you guys can see here, this interior still looks very modern. You guys should expect a new interior, new exterior styling probably for the 2024 model. I thought Toyota would have offered a new version for the Camry for 2023, but sadly, as you guys can see, it is still the same model from the beginning of 2018 or 2017, whenever Toyota released this current generation. But let's talk about the door panel materials here. It's gonna be a nice soft touch material with this aluminum accented door handle, which has this aluminum painted trim, which continues to the door panel there. There's some nice stitching here. Surprised that it's not red. This area is gonna be nice and padded. The switch gear feels nice. It is auto up and down for all 4 windows. I wasn't expecting that. Some other competitors just offer automatic up and down only for the driver and passenger. There's your window control, mirror controls are here. There's also additional cup holder and storage space. Shutting the door. To start up the vehicle, you guys know, foot on the brake and press the start stop button there. As you guys can see, everything will come to life here in the Camry. You're greeted by this Toyota logo front and center. Also, there's this display here which says Camry. Looking at the current key fob here, there's a lock, unlock, also trunk release and a panic button. And it also says Camry with the Toyota logo on the back of the key fob. The new Tundra, Sienna, and some of the newer products don't even have this on the back of the key fob. So it is nice that Toyota still offers that for this current generation. The materials on the dashboard are going to be a soft touch ejection molded plastic. You can get a heads-up display, but my model sadly just doesn't offer that. There's these analog gauges here with this digital display front and center. If you guys are looking for a little bit more tech, you have to look at the Hyundai and Kia, but this is still modern tech in a sense. Some of the other competitors are just a little bit ahead of Toyota, but like I mentioned, you guys should be expecting a newer generation with a whole new interior, also with exterior styling. Once again, probably for the next model year. There's the headlight and turn signal stock. Room wiper stock is there. The steering wheel does have this nice thick feel to it, high quality leather. This also has your driver's assistance tech. Your audio controls are here, the Toyota logo front and center. This also has a 3-spoke wheel design. Surprised that it's not a flat bottom. Over here is the automatic high beam controls, traction control, trunk release, and your fuel cap opener. There's this little storage compartment here. Probably put some change in there and whatnot. And there's your odometer reset trip computer there. The materials on the dash can be a soft touch ejection molded plastic. For 2021, if I'm not mistaken, Toyota did offer this 9-inch display on some of the upper trim levels. And keep in mind, it was actually integrated into the dashboard, but now they have it as this floating tablet design. There's a volume and tune knob. Some other competitors don't even give you a tuning knob or a volume knob. There's some shortcut buttons off to the side. This is the older Toyota head unit. The new Tundra has the media link, I think that's what Toyota calls it, if I'm not mistaken. But going into the Toyota embedded navigation or head unit here, which is the older system, like I mentioned, there's the audio source, phone, apps, Apple CarPlay. Is not wireless. Like the new Tundra and some of their other product. There's the air vents here, also a hazard button. As you guys can see, the Apple CarPlay does take up the full 9-inch display. Above me there is LED lights throughout the cabin here. This also has dual climate control. There's a USB port here, 12 volt, and it's also a wireless phone charger, but my iPhone 13 Pro Max is just too big for it. So if you guys have a smaller phone, the wireless phone charger will fit that. But pushing it back here, as you guys see, there is some storage underneath there. You guys can hide your wallet in there if you would like. Putting the vehicle into reverse here, it does reveal a backup camera. There's trajectory with distance markers. There's rear and front parking sensors there. You guys can turn off the trajectory lines if you guys don't want it, but I will keep them on just in case you guys get a little too close to something. There's an eco mode, normal, sport, also an auto hold here. There's an electronic parking brake, 2 cup holders. I like this high gloss trim here. It doesn't leave fingerprints, but it does look really nice here. There's also some nice stitching here. This area is going to be nice and padded. There's some more of that gloss painted trim there. The seats in here, they're supportive and comfortable. I like the way that they look. They look futuristic a little bit. They do offer really good support. There's 3 level heated seats here. There's no cool seats, unfortunately. You have to probably option that in, probably with the weather package. Open this up, it does reveal a good amount of storage. There's 2 USB ports in there, which is a Type C and Type A port. Looking at the glove compartment, it does offer a good amount of storage in there. But overall, the tech and as you guys can see, one quick second, the police is passing by, and it does show you basically rear cross traffic alert and whatnot. So that's really nice tech. So if I were to back up, it will put on the brakes for me. But overall, the interior of the Camry, like I mentioned, still offers modern tech. It looks really nice in here, but it is kind of lacking compared to the other competitors in the segment. Getting into the back seat of the Toyota Camry, as you guys can see, the door opens at a really good angle, and there's plenty of space in the back seat of the Camry here. Let's talk about the materials on the door panel. It's going to be a soft touch ejection molded plastic with this aluminum accented door handle here. That trim is carried through the rest of the door panel. There's some nice stitching here. I'm surprised that it's not red like the exterior paint. This area here is going to be nice and padded. There's some cup holder space down here in the lower part of the door panel. The switchgear feels nice, but getting back here, as you guys can see, I do have a decent amount of foot space underneath the driver's seat. This is where I have the seat to drive, and Toyota says this has 38 inches of rear legroom space. It's not the biggest in the segment. That still belongs to the Honda Accord, but it still offers real world space here, so you guys can get comfortable back here in the back seat. There is also 2 map pockets back here for storage. You do get rear air vents here. The floor back here is not flat. I'm surprised to see that because this one is a front wheel drive model. You guys can get all wheel drive like I mentioned. You can fit 3 people across, but keep in mind the hump here does intrude into the middle passenger space. Putting this armrest down here, it does reveal 2 cup holders. There is LED lights throughout the cabin, and there's this large panoramic sunroof here, which lets in a ton of light and also air. But unfortunately, this area does not open here. Only this right here opens. But overall, the back seat of the Camry in the real world does offer a lot of space. Let's talk about the powertrain specs here for the 2023 Toyota Camry XSE. This is Toyota's base powertrain, which is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. This powertrain makes 206 horsepower, 186 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. As the Camry XSE sits here, it weighs in around 3,300 pounds. And this one also has the sport tune suspension. We'll talk about that in the actual test drive. And you guys can go for all-wheel drive, but keep in mind it will be an additional option because all Camrys still remain front-wheel drive. If you guys want a more powerful powertrain, you can go for the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6, which will make over 300 horsepower, just in case you guys are looking for more horsepower and more torque. But making our way over to the fuel door here, let's talk about fuel economy here for the base powertrain. This gets 27 in the city, 38 on the highway, and 31 combined. You can go for a hybrid, which will get over 40 mpg. Starting off in the 23 Toyota Camry XSE, like I mentioned, this one has a sport tune suspension, and just driving here through this park area, it does have a nice balance of a soft ride quality. But if you guys were put it into a sport mode here, that might tighten up the suspension a little bit. Right now, having a sport mode, keep in mind this is the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, and the steering wheel does have some nice heft to it. It does feel a little bit heavier compared to it being in its normal mode. Let's talk about the powertrain specs here. This makes 206 horsepower, 186 pound-feet of torque. It is paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. You can go for a V6 on the XSE trim, which is going to be their naturally aspirated powertrain, which makes 301 horsepower and I think 276 pound-feet of torque, if I'm not mistaken. So the horsepower and torque number is going to be up compared to the 2.5 here. But let's do a slight acceleration run here really quickly here. Having the sport mode, I'm going to leave the traction on. As you guys know, it's a 4-cylinder, and that's 30 miles an hour right there. But coming around this corner here, I do feel the weight of the steering feel with it being in sport mode. Like I mentioned, it does have a nice balance of, like I mentioned, sport tune suspension and also it just having a good ride quality. So you do get the best of both worlds, but I think the Honda still drives a little bit better in my opinion. But the Camry is still a good solid choice in the segment, believe it or not. Toyota sells over 200,000 units every single year, surprisingly, because a lot of Americans like to buy SUVs and pickup trucks. So their numbers are still strong here for the Camry. And I think Toyota's not gonna really drop the Camry name for a long time. I was expecting a newer generation for 2023 because this current generation, in my opinion, was getting a little long in the tooth, but Toyota just kept it around for the 23 model year. So expect a new Camry or basically a new generation for 2024. But this vehicle does have a nice balance. Don't get me wrong, good ride quality, good suspension tuning. I like the sport tune suspension here on the XSE model. Visibility very quick here, great visibility. You can see out this car, fantastic. The mirrors are a little small, but Toyota does offer blind spot monitoring, lane keeping assist. It's not their 3.0 system, which that's a really good system. I haven't tested it out just yet. I read up on some of the specs from Toyota, but it is a good driver's assistance tech. That Toyota, they did basically just beef it up compared to their 2.5 or 2.0 system here. The ride quality, like I mentioned once again, is just buttery smooth. With the car being in the sport mode, you can do a little bit of aggressive driving, but keep in mind it's a 4-cylinder. It's not going to sound the best. If you guys want to have a little bit more aggressive suspension tuning, you have to go for the TRD Pro. Now that one's going to be way more tuned for the track compared to this one. It's going to have different wheels and whatnot. I think lighter wheels compared to this model here. Let's talk about fuel economy very quickly. This is rated at 27 in the city, 38 highway, and 31 combined. Great fuel economy. But you guys can go for a hybrid, which will get over 40 miles per gallon, which is just super good. Let's put the vehicle into its eco mode here. As you guys can see, it tones down the droniness in the cabin, and it just basically, once again, it has that more softer suspension. And I just like the way this vehicle drives. It's a good choice, a very solid choice in that segment. I always recommend the Toyota Camry and the Honda Accord over some of its other rivals because they're just known for reliability. The materials in here are really good materials. The tech is decent. If you guys are looking for a little bit more tech, you have to go for the Honda. If you're looking for a better balance of sport and also comfort, the Camry is still good. But the Honda Accord, which is right over there, It just offers just a little bit more better driving feel, in my opinion. Above me, I forgot to mention from the inside scene, this one has the large panoramic sunroof. You can go for a standard sunroof if you guys don't want the panoramic roof. It kind of eats into the head space if you guys desire to have a little bit more headroom, or you guys can just not get the sunroof in general. For 2023, they didn't make any significant changes or big changes for this year, because like I mentioned, they're going to basically be phasing this generation out and, you know, coming up with a new generation. I haven't seen any spy photos or anything like that, but like I mentioned, once again, we should expect a newer generation of Camry in the upcoming year or so. So just hopefully Toyota give us something a little bit more better, that's more tech rich in a sense. When this vehicle came out, it was probably one of the top in the segment when it came to the tech department. But it is kind of liking now that Hyundai and Kia have basically kicked the throttle pedal into a full gear. But like I mentioned, the Camry is still a good, strong seller in this segment. The tech is good, like I mentioned. The ride quality is good, especially with the sport tune suspension. The fuel economy is great. You guys just can't go wrong with the Camry, because that's why a lot of people buy it over the other competitors in this segment. After spending time with the 2023 Toyota Camry XSE, this one also has a sport tune suspension, so it does have a really good balance of aggressive driving, also with a soft tune suspension. I just like the way that it drives and handles, but it does not drive the way that the Honda Accord drives. It doesn't have the nicer tech like the Hyundai and Kia products, but Toyota still does offer a really good choice here in the mid-size sedan segment. This is why Toyota sells over 300,000 units. It's just known for reliability. It still offers great tech with that 9-inch display. Let me know in the comment section if you guys will go for the Toyota over the other competitors in the segment. Like I mentioned, this is the top seller. It sells over 200,000 plus units every single year. With that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed this review. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Drive1Reviews. Hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video.